welcome to Unbound Wisdom. Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about this concept of, is there such thing as too much shadow work? Is there such thing as too much self-improvement or inner work? In my opinion, yes. Yes, there is. And let me put a little caveat on that at the end, and that is too much too quickly, all at once, without any integration time, is counterproductive in my experience. Now, we all know, if you're watching this video, you know that in order to know who we are on a soul level, it takes some work. It takes inner work. It takes a commitment to looking at our shadow. It takes a commitment to trying to see our blind spots and learn from our past mistakes, uncover those areas of trauma that are holding us back, and to truly heal on many multidimensional levels in order to be able to anchor more light, in order to bring more of our soul essence into our body. Shadow work is highly important. However, I think that it can be overdone. And this is something that I don't often hear talked about, so I wanted to bring it up today. I think a great analogy would be the Goldilocks and the Three Bears analogy. So there is a bowl of porridge that is too hot, there is a bowl of porridge that is too cold, and there is a bowl of porridge that is just right. And what we want to do is we embark on our spiritual journey, as we embark on this journey of self-healing, we want to find that bowl of porridge that is just right for our expansion. When I look at the cold bowl of porridge, this would be analogous to someone that is unwilling or unable or unaware of their shadow. They're unwilling to look at it or unaware that it even exists. They are unaware that inner work is a thing. And I can speak to this because I so did this for so many years. In the New Age community, we might call it spiritual bypassing. But really, it is using spirituality as a way to kind of mask our underlying pain, mask our trauma, mask our triggers, and we don't really delve into what's below the surface in order to truly heal. I have shared before a little bit on the channel that I was in a very abusive marriage for a long time. And when I got the courage and the strength to leave the marriage, I thought that everything in my life was going to be great. And it was great for a while. However, I had a lot of trauma that was unaddressed. So it's kind of like I had all of these landmines that were planted. And what I did is just bury them all. But as we know, over time, those traumas have a way of resurfacing. So instead of addressing the triggers, I avoided them. And instead of really facing my pain and trying to work through it, I used some beautiful metaphysical practices in order to cover it up. So I would go to yoga daily, literally daily. I would go to yoga in order to be able to function in my life. I remember thinking there was one point where I was like, I have to go to yoga today or I won't be able to breathe. How wild is that? It really was a saving grace for me for a time, but it wasn't the way that I was living my fullest life, right? I was trying to cover up my pain with daily yoga, daily meditation, lots of crystals, all the things, except for truly addressing what the underlying cause was, which was unresolved trauma. That's a cold bowl of porridge, and it only lasts for so long, right? In order to truly embody the most of my soul essence that I possibly can, I needed to face all of those wounds and heal them. So the warm bowl of porridge would be someone that recognizes that they need to heal or want to heal, recognizes that there is shadow there to address and there are wounds to heal. But they become so obsessed with inner work and shadow work that they don't allow proper integration time in order to actually truly heal. And this is a difficult thing to talk about. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone speak about it before, but I feel like it's so important because it happens a lot. And I can call what I did the cold bowl of porridge, I can call that spiritual bypassing. But the warm bowl of porridge, I can call that kind of like spiritual materialism in a way. Although it comes from a beautiful place of wanting to improve, and that's a very noble cause, it's somewhat driven by I need to do more all the time, more and different and better. I'm not good enough how I am. I need to fix myself. Like this constant pursuit of better. It doesn't get that also doesn't get us to the best place because we never genuinely give ourselves the time to heal and integrate. So, to get to that bowl of porridge that is just right, I really believe that it's important to have that commitment to address the shadow, to address our healing that needs to happen, to address our pain and our triggers and our past trauma. But at the same time, we allow time in between to integrate, to let in some light, to appreciate where we are in this exact moment instead of always striving for more and better, right? This is when the best expansion happens. And we don't stunt ourselves on either direction because we are living in flow. We are living in universal flow and divine flow. And we're trusting in divine timing to help us through our healing process. So I do believe that we can tell if we are trying too hard to heal, if it's coming from a place of our ego. And by that, I mean if it's coming from thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I have to fix myself constantly. Um, or if we identify with our pursuits to heal, like that becomes part of our identity and part of who we are. I also find that to be a problem because it's coming from a place of human ego. If we compare ourselves to others or we think that someone's less than if they don't do their shadow work, right? That's coming from a place of judgment and a place of ego, probably a sign that maybe our porridge is too hot, right? And we need to take a step back and allow some of the healing that we've done to integrate. I kind of think about it um, like an athlete that's working in the gym. Many people know when you work out, you need to allow time in between sessions in order for your muscles to repair themselves, in order for your nervous system to repair itself, and for the inflammation to go down. I mean, there's so many physiological things that happen when we are breaking ourselves down in the gym. We need some recovery days in there in order to be at our best potential for our next workout, right? It's not any different than healing in the quantum. We have to allow time in between, light in between, space in between, in order for the healing to take effect. So, if we are trying to overdo it with the healing, it is very difficult on our nervous system. Very, very difficult. And also, our psyche, right? To be in the place of constantly digging in the muck and the pain is that could be traumatic in itself, to be honest with you. We allowing ourselves time in between for joy, for light, for happiness, for appreciation and gratitude for where we are is really the key. Another analogy. I'm full of analogies today, aren't I? Gardening. You guys know I'm a gardener. I love gardening. I think about it like spiritual work or healing work, digging in the mud, right? Digging in the dirt. We dig in the dirt and we plant the seed. And then what do we need to do in order for that seed to grow to its fullest potential? We have to leave it alone. We can't keep digging. We can't keep digging in the dirt. We also have to water it. We have to give it nourishment, which in the spiritual world would be light, would be love, would be acceptance, allowance, positivity, all these beautiful things. And the sunshine as well. Sunshine and water, the nutrients for the seed. It's the same thing in spirituality. We have to allow the light to come in order to heal, in order for the seed that we planted to blossom to its fullest potential. So we have to give ourselves time. We have to give ourselves permission for the outdated versions of ourselves to fall away so that we have an accurate representation of where we are currently. Otherwise, what we're doing when we do a healing and then we the next day do another healing and the next day do another healing is we are just putting ourselves in this loop, a perpetual healing loop, where we're not showing up in as our current version of ourselves because we haven't given ourselves enough time to integrate and change. We're showing up as the same version of ourselves as we did the day before and the day before and the day before. It's like a perpetual healing loop, right? But if we allow the light to come in and we allow the integration time to happen and the divine timing to happen, then the next time we show up for a healing, we are showing up as an updated version of ourselves, right? To heal more, not to heal the same wounds over and over and over. Um, Kind of like spinning our wheels in that way, right? If we keep doing that. So, how do we know when we have the just right bowl of porridge? I believe that we know when our healing motivation comes from a place of our true self energy, which means we're curious, we're calm, we're compassionate when we're going with the healing, right? We show up with maybe we say, I know I have this block around abundance and I'd like to explore it. Versus if we're not in our self energy, if we're more in our human ego energy, we might show up and say, I hate myself for having money issues. I'm a bad person because I have these issues. How come no one else seems to have this issue and I do? Right? Can you feel the energy in those two statements? One of them's from a place of curiosity. You notice that there's something that you would like to shift in your life, and you're curious about why it's there, and you're committed to shifting it, and you show up in that energy as opposed to hating yourself or being frustrated because you have these issues or comparing yourself to other people, right? So when we respect and we honor the divine timing in everything, and we allow the shadow to appear when the timing is right, then the universe and spirit will um, allow what needs to come up at the right time, and we can address it at that point. If we are open and aware, and we do not need to go digging constantly. So I could rephrase that. Divine timing is so important because we need to allow spirit to show us when it's time to heal instead of constantly digging and digging and digging at that scab, right? Digging and digging and digging in the dirt. If we allow and trust spirit to guide us towards the proper healing that we need in that moment, it will happen. And our healing is going to be so much more expansive that way. It means that we will have integration times, we will have restful and joyful periods where we honor ourselves and we celebrate how far we've come. And also, we are asked to actively love and accept ourselves in every moment for exactly where we are without any caveats or disclaimers. This is where the real magic happens. If we can show up every day with genuine love for ourselves for exactly where we are, regardless of anything that we see that we want to improve. If we come at it from a place of love, that's where the real healing can happen. And also allowing ourselves these periods of joyful rest will assure that our cups are always full again for more expansion. We're resourced, we're equipped, and we are ready for the next time a shadow shows itself or we become triggered. So just allowing ourselves time in between healing sessions allows us to refill our cup so that we are never empty. And that is so big on this journey, isn't it? Yes. I really hope that this was helpful to you guys today. The next time that you feel like you want to do a healing session with someone, or you want to, maybe you're opening up your Akashic records, which is such a beautiful thing, and you're working on healing some of the shadow aspects of yourself, I would just encourage you to feel into the energy that it's coming from and ask yourself, is this coming from a place of self energy where am loved, where I know that I'm supported, or is this coming from a place of lack or fear or anger? And that's going to give you a really good idea of whether it's a good day to try to heal or not. And also thinking about that Goldilocks analogy, trying to find the balance between not enough and too much. trying to find that balance of just right. And really, the best way we can do it is to trust in divine timing. So, if you need anything at all, please reach out to me. I'm always available to help. It was an honor for me that you joined me today, and I appreciate you being here. Until next time.